Please be advised this podcast features AI cloned voices created with human oversight. All content is reviewed by experts for accuracy and relevance. Welcome to IADS Retail Park, the show where we unpack how the world's most iconic department stores are rebuilding, reimagining, and sometimes completely reinventing what it means to be a destination for shoppers. I'm your host, Maya, and today's episode takes us inside one of Paris's true retail landmarks, Galeries Lafayette Haussmann. I'm joined again by Christine, our Director of Markets and Events here at IADS, and the author of the exclusive on today's topic, Galeries Lafayette's Ongoing Transformation. Christine, welcome back. It's always great to talk retail with you.
Thanks, Maya. It's nice to be back. Now, Galeries Lafayette is such a great case to look at. So much history, and yet they seem to always be on the edge of the next chapter.
That's so true, Christine. I can't wait to hear what you have in store for us. Before we get started, just a quick heads up for listeners. A lot of the figures, trends, and examples we'll mention were reported around 2021 to 2022, when stores were just re-emerging from pandemic closures. But I think the lessons are still incredibly relevant. So let's set the scene. Galeries Lafayette is known worldwide, but can you give us a sense of its scale and why its flagship on Boulevard Haussmann matters so much?
Of course. Galeries Lafayette Group has 290 stores and around 14 to 16,000 employees. And before the pandemic, they welcomed about 60 million visitors a year with 4.5 billion euros in turnover. But the Haussmann flagship is really their crown jewel, prestigious, historic, and responsible for about 2 billion euros of that turnover in 2019. It's also Paris's top department store, drawing customers from roughly 200 different nationalities. International shoppers have always been a huge part of its DNA.
That's a staggering footprint. But being number one brings its own pressures. What kind of expectations is Galeries Lafayette up against, especially now?
It's a challenge for sure. They need to delight a very diverse audience. That means staying one step ahead on experience, product offer, and services, especially for millennials, Gen Z, and locals, not just international tourists. And in 2021, after more than 200 days of closure thanks to COVID, reinvention moved from being a buzzword to a necessity.
And that brings us to the Le Grand Magasin de tous, or the department store for all. What does this new mission mean for the flagship?
It's really about returning to the roots of what makes a department store special. A place for discovery, fun, and entertainment. They launched this new program in September 2021 after all those closures to restate the store's purpose and signal to locals and tourists, this is your playground, whoever you are.
But it sounds like this reinvention actually started before the pandemic with the program Lumiere. What's that all about?
Yes, that's a good point, Maya. The program Lumiere started back in 2018 as a multi-year revamp for the Haussmann store. They've been upgrading departments like kidswear, home, lingerie, parts of beauty, and even the historic dome, which is now an experience in itself, thanks to a new glass walk that lets you get up close to it. The idea is to blend heritage with innovation, making sure every visit feels fresh.
And digital transformation has played a huge part, right? I read that e-commerce went from 2% to 25% of turnover, basically overnight.
That's right. The pandemic was a major accelerant. What would have taken years happened in months. Galeries Lafayette now talks about the phygital ship instead of just a flagship store. E-commerce is expected to settle at around 15 to 20% of business, but the key is that online and in-store are now totally integrated.
Let's talk strategy. Galeries Lafayette set out 4 objectives for this reinvention: focus more on locals, stay a can't-miss Paris attraction, keep their position with international shoppers, and tap into new growth with younger customers. How do these translate to what's happening on the shop floor?
All 4 are visible in what's new. They've refreshed loyalty programs for locals, pushed more experiences like restaurants, cultural events, and partnerships, and kept up with European, Middle Eastern, and US shoppers even when Asian tourist numbers were down. But the biggest changes are aimed at millennials and Gen Z, more secondhand and circular fashion, Instagram friendly brands, and a women's shoe floor that's a major destination in itself.
Speaking of the shoe floor, I hear it moved from the basement up to the fourth floor and is now the biggest in Europe. Why make such a big investment there?
It's changed to really being all about creating a reason to visit. The new women's shoe department covers 4,000 square meters, hosts 200 brands, and is designed to feel like a journey. Luxury, premium, mid range sneakers, even a repair and recycling station by Veja. There are Instagrammable spots, a coffee shop from London, even places for a manicure or macaroons. It turns shopping for shoes into a real experience, not just a transaction.
I love that. They're also bringing in a ton of new brands on the women's fashion floors, right?
That's right, Maya. They've added 140 new brands since 2020, completely revamping the premium and mid range offer. There are three new spaces, one for Insta brands and DNVBs or digital native vertical brands. There's a social gallery for last minute gifts and online favorites, and a creative gallery for edgier labels. The signage has been updated, the layout is clearer, and there's even a new denim bar and fashion sports section, all designed to appeal to the next generation of shoppers and make the store feel like a discovery hub.
And then there's Restore, their circular fashion concept. Can you walk us through that?
Restore is Gallery Lafayette's big leap into the second-hand and responsible market. It's a large third floor section featuring vintage, eco friendly, and upcycled pieces from partners, plus donation points and a resale salon for pre loved items. You'll also find a hardware store for sustainable products and club cooler where second-hand objects get a new life. It's 100% geared toward Gen Z and millennials who want their shopping to have purpose as well as style.
It seems like the experience doesn't end with the product. There's a big focus on services, events, and even the store's ad campaign. What stands out here?
They've gone all in on 360-degree omnichannel marketing, film, social, emojis, window displays, pushing four values which are joy, inclusivity, energy, and a youthful spirit. The store is positioning itself as a place for everyone: older customers, the queens, trendsetters, foodies, families. The founder spirit of gathering everything and everyone under one roof is alive and well.
As a final thought, what do you think is the biggest lesson for other department store leaders from Gallery Lafayette's reinvention?
Stay agile and keep experimenting. Whether it's product mix, store design, partnerships, or digital, the only constant is change. Gallery Lafayette is proving you can honor your heritage while still moving fast and attracting new audiences.
Christine, this has been such an insightful look into one of retail's most ambitious transformations. For those who want to explore more, you can find Christine's full exclusive at IADS Exclusive Insights on Substack. The link will be available in the episode description.
Thanks so much, Maya, and thanks to everyone listening. The story is not over yet, so keep watching this space.
We'll be back with more stories of retail's next chapter, right here on IADS Retail Park.